Hi, I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Andrew Moran, Dave Patterson, Graham Noble, and John Clark, and this is The Conservative Five, an online TV production of Liberty Nation News. President-elect Trump has thrown the FBI into full body willies with his nomination of Kash Patel to lead the once esteemed government bureau. I don't see this selection of Patel as controversial, but the leftist elite media is thrashing about using terms like loyalist to impugn the guy's character. John Clark, our lawyer on panel today. Will Trump get the confirmation votes to land Patel at the top corner office in the J. Edgar Hoover building? What can you tell us about the guy?
Well, that's a political and not a legal question. And I think that referring to Andrew's earlier comment in our other segment, that maybe it's a time for popcorn to watch. And what are the two sides in the arguments? Now, I find him to be fascinating. As an attorney, I have found it to be very helpful over the years to have multiple experiences. He has been both a criminal defense attorney, a public defender, I believe, federal public defender. He's also worked for the prosecution. He's worn a lot of different hats. And one of the main criticisms of him is that he's an outsider, that he didn't work up through the ranks of the FBI as is normally the case. I don't know that that's a disqualifying criticism. I think that's the whole point of what Trump is doing and what Americans have elected the Trump administration to do, which is to gut the obvious corruption that we have seen. One man's corruption is another man's lawfare. And so the big debate going on right now, and you'll hear people on the left and even in the international media saying, oh, Patel is saying that there's corruption in the FBI and 99.9% of these agents are just really loyal, hardworking people that obey the Constitution. It begs the question. Patel is claiming that they're going to come in and clean up and hold accountable violations of that very document. So when it comes to confirmation, it's he's perhaps less controversial than a lot of the other candidates. I haven't heard about sexual predation yet against him or that he wore blackface. He actually has a lot of credentials, and I think he's scaring the heck out of the establishment because he's talking about coming for blood, coming for accountability, not lawfare, which I think many people think that we've seen, but actual accountability and holding to the rule of law. And Dick Durbin said this, he said, the president-elect wants to replace his own appointee with an unqualified loyalist, referring to Christopher Wray. Gee, Democrats are objecting that Donald Trump would replace his own appointee with someone who he sees as more loyal. Isn't that his prerogative as president? If that's the best criticism you have, is he shouldn't be allowed to replace his own appointee. And one wonders why Wray is still there after 4 years of Biden. Why wouldn't Trump want to replace him? I don't see with the wave of energy and support behind this presidency and this election how they can really dethrone this pick. If Trump and others stand tall, I don't see it yet, but I do think that it's more of a political and a legal analysis. I think Trump wants outsiders and he wants loyalists. So what others are calling negatives about Patel, many in America might see as his greatest strengths.
Graham, is Patel the guy to turn the organization around, or should he have gone with, it's the top law office in the land. Should he have gone with somebody with more experience than that?
Well, I think yes, he is the man to turn the FBI around, but there are a few caveats attached to that. And number one, of course, is does he get confirmed? I think he will. I expect he will do much better at the confirmation hearing, than some people are expecting him to. I think he will hold his own very well, and I think he'll make his case. Now, should Trump have chosen him or somebody who's more of Trump didn't want, you see, all these government departments, they have their own cultures. The Department of Defense does, as I'm sure Dave Patterson would tell us about. The Justice Department has its own culture. The FBI, which is, of course, is just an agency within the Justice Department, has its own culture. And so we're going to now appoint yet one more person who's been steeped in that culture for their entire career, and just push them to the top floor there, up to the 7th floor. and have them run things, well, what is ever going to change? So I think Kash Patel was a great choice. I think he could change things up, but of course he's going to have some strong headwinds blowing his way, even within the agency, within the bureau. He's going to have to butt heads with a lot of people. I would just say one thing about him being, unqualified loyalist, which I heard that as well from Dick Durbin. And well, here's the thing: unqualified. If you look at Biden's nominees, Biden filled his cabinet with DEI picks. That's what he did. People that were in very high positions within certain government departments and agencies were picked because of who they were, in terms of their sexual identity or what sexual identity they chose to adopt, and or what color their skin was, or anything else. It was just a complete circus of identity politics running the Biden administration. And the other thing is loyalist. Really? Let's ask former Attorney General Eric Holder about that, who once said that he would always be the president's wingman. Those were his exact words. So, come on. I mean, all presidents choose people that they hope or believe are going to be loyal to them, not necessarily to them as a person, but to their agenda. And that's really what Trump wants. He's not looking for people who adore him personally. He's looking for people who are loyal to the America First agenda. And there's nothing wrong, therefore, with picking someone like Kash Patel who is loyal to that agenda. That's the kind of people he wants in there.
Who should be the most worried guy or gal at the FBI, Andrew?
Well, perhaps anyone who believes in the spying powers of the federal government. If they 100% endorse all the surveillance that the FBI, the Justice Department, the whole federal government has accumulated over the years, that perhaps they should be concerned. I've seen reports all over the press freaking out that Trump and his team, like Patel or Tulsi Gabbard, they oppose FISA Section 702, which allows the government to collect communication without a warrant. Now, Patel, he's got a record in the past saying he opposes this spying power that comes from the ashes of the Bush-Cheney administration. Now, what's interesting about this component it has bipartisan support among Republicans and Democrats, except among the libertarian-leaning ones. So when I believe it was Graham talking about the confirmation, if he goes before the Congress and to get confirmed, his position on that topic could be a source of controversy for the many Republicans and Democrats who supports this government encroachment of your personal liberty.
I just wonder, and I'm sure everybody wonders after the last 8 years. Dave, is anybody going to pay? Will feet be held to the fire, so to speak?
Sarah, I think so. I mean, inside the FBI, everybody knows who the bad actors are. And with any luck, they'll resign before being asked to. But all of the political appointees will be gone because they can't stay. And then it will be the career professionals who are at risk. But by Office of Personnel Management rules, after 120 days, all career professionals, senior executive service employees are at risk of being removed from their positions. Now, they can't be fired from the organization necessarily, but they can be moved to where they're not a problem.
Left in the basement in a closet.
Yeah, well, the Department of Defense is a fertile ground for removing and replacing, and I think the Trump team coming in really need to pay particular attention to very key senior executive positions that influence personnel actions, contracting, and budgeting, particularly for the Office of the Secretary of Defense. These people have to be replaced with Trump people so that the processes that the Trump team will depend upon can move very swiftly and smoothly. But if you have these hangers on and these kinds of positions where they control money, the people, and the contracting, you're going to have a problem.
Well, I hear a lot about cabinet picks, and just in my circles in the middle of nowhere where I live, and on social media. And I don't feel anybody is out of place so far. Do I question if there's something better? I do. But, as Trump continues to design his administration, we will be here to explain who they are and why they're there and why he picked them. So thanks for watching, and thanks for all your input, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, or on them all. As well, Liberty Nation News has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Now, Liberty Nation does not endorse candidates, campaigns, or legislation, and this presentation is no endorsement. I'm your host, Sarah Cowgill. Thanks for joining us today for the latest news and commentary. Your choice for free thinking, free speech, libertynation.com.